Key Biscayneers, Key Rats, welcome to another episode of Key Biscayne Stories. I'm excited today. We have here with me Adan and Rodrigo Zuloaga. They are co-founders of Lionfield Capital. They are an entrepreneurial venture to acquire and operate a great company for the long term. So we're here to learn about them, their Key Biscayne story, because they're both local, of course, and we're here to learn more. So welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Alejandro. Pleasure. Great to be here.
Thank you so much, Alejandro. Pleasure.
Please, and pleasure's all mine. Thank you. So let's get to know you guys. So let's see, who wants to go first, telling their story about how they got to the Key?
I guess I can go first because Adan just got here. But yeah,
got seniority.
So exactly. So I'm originally from Venezuela. Came to the States for college in Boston, and met what was then my girlfriend and future wife. She grew up in the island. So when I moved to Florida after college, ended up in Key Biscayne, and loved the island. Been here ever since, and that's how I got here.
What did you study?
I studied finance and management.
Finance, that's a good combo.
Yep.
Good combo. And is your now wife also from the Key?
She is originally from Colombia. Moved to Key Biscayne when she was 15, and basically grew up here until she went off to college.
I know you guys have children, right?
We do. We have a 4-year-old daughter, beautiful daughter, lives with us in the island.
Congrats.
That's a good thing.
I was like, maybe she's old enough to, live somewhere else.
Yeah.
You don't know nowadays. Awesome. Well, thank you. What about you, then?
So I'm fairly new. Got to the Key in October, sort of by accident. It's a bit of a longer story, but we were in DC, in Washington, DC, and my wife and I were working from home. And my in-laws are here, right? So my wife grew up in Miami, and we wanted to give it a try. She was super pregnant, and we said, hey, might as well just kind of, be close to family, and decided to, pack our things and move temporarily to Miami. And funny enough, in the middle of the pandemic, as you probably anticipate, everybody was living their apartments, right? And just people were working from home. They were sick from being locked up at home with the dog, with the kids. So a lot of the people kind of moved out of their apartments and moved to a bigger place, either in Colorado, what have you, right? Everybody left. So we ended up, we moved from my house in DC to a temporary apartment, to a furnished temporary place in Key Biscayne, and loved it. It was my first time there. My wife had been there, visited, and we really liked it. And we like it so much, we just made it a permanent move. We basically are finding a way to bring all of our stuff here and leave our place in DC. It's been a wonderful experience.
What did you mean by super pregnant? What is the difference between a regular pregnant?
No, she was 8 months pregnant, right? So we were packing, and basically, had she lifted one box the wrong way, the baby would have, popped out of her. That pregnant. It was very pregnant, and we had a 1.5 year old guy, and it was quite the endeavor to just move everything here. I drove, I basically stuffed my little sedan, packed it with things, and drove down.
Love it. Well, welcome to Key Biscayne.
Thank you.
Welcome to Key Biscayne. So, and you guys are friends, obviously. Can you guys share a little bit about how this friendship became to be?
Yeah, definitely. So we both went to Kellogg Business School. They have a campus here in Miami. We did the executive program and just finished that in December last year. So, ended up the program through the pandemic, but started off in person. Great program, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
so definitely recommend it. And then we, story's a little bit longer. So we met in I guess August 2018. We had one of these first classes during business school. The professor just says like, what would you like to do post MBA type of stuff, right? And Rodrigo was kind of like one of the first one to raise his hand. And he said, hey, I'm gonna acquire a company, make a lot of money, give back to the community. And I was next. So I said, that sounds awesome. I want to do exactly the same thing. And in 2018, we kind of started picking each other brains, around the idea of raising a little fund and combining forces and partner up on doing this, right? We'll touch more on what exactly we're doing, but it was a good mix. At the time, I was working at a small shop in investment banking. Rodrigo was growing companies in healthcare. So it's a really solid mix of kind of that transactional background and operational background, and it all worked out. So we kind of discussed this idea for a while, and probably around the summer of 2020, we kind of started digesting this a little bit more, and long story short, we ended up kind of partnering up around September and went off to the races 4 to 5 months ago.
Rodrigo, do you agree with that statement of your friendship?
I agree with everything he said. I think, on the personal side, I think we also built a great bond, and it's what made us decide to really make a partnership out of just that friendship, right? We share common values and kind of have the same set of goals, I would say, for the medium and long term.
Awesome, great. So Lionfield, let's jump into Lionsfield. So we already got a little taste of why Lionfield started. Can we elaborate a little bit of the inspiration behind Lionsfield?
You want to take a stab at it?
Yep. Sorry about that. Basically, the whole idea for us is really to be entrepreneurs, right? That's what got us into this field. But we don't want to start from scratch. We really want to do the buy and then build approach. So what we set out to do was, set up this investment vehicle as an opportunity to find a great company that has solid grounds, that an owner operator has grown to a decent size, and that it's ready to take I would say new ownership and go to the next level. And that may be for different reasons, right? Like we're really looking for a situation, and by that I mean an owner that is looking to step down for different personal reasons. It could be just age and looking to retire. It could be health issues. It could be family issues. And the other good, I would say, situation is when there's a company in need of management. And we've seen a ton of those, right? Where the company has outgrown the founder. Founder is a builder and not really manager. And then it's a great situation for us to step in and kind of take the torch and be that succession plan, right? So that's kind of the genesis of what is Lionfield really in the end.
Yeah, and I'd add, Alejandro. So, it sounds fancy, right? Raise a little bit of money, look into the acquisitions, but if you really think about it, what kept us awake at night when we started discussing this idea and the problem that we truly are trying to solve is around succession issues and the advent of all these wealthy generation of boomers really looking to retire, right? Every day there's a ton of 60, 70-year-old gentlemen or ladies looking to step down to their business, enjoy their golden years, enjoy their time with the grandchildren, and they don't have a lot of alternatives. It sounds counterintuitive because you think, all right, businessman, you can probably kind of sell, but the reality is, for the size of businesses that we're looking at, which is under $75 million in enterprise value, there's not a lot. Companies of that size typically get snubbed at by your typical private equity shop or your typical financial buyer, or other strategic buyers really struggle with, with that integration. For us, that's just our absolute sweet spot. And it really shows when we talk with these business owners. For example, I talked with one gentleman today, has a phenomenal business somewhere in Florida in the warehouse management sector. Spoke with the owner and founder, and the guy said, "Hey, it's a phenomenal business. I got a phenomenal lifestyle, but guess what? The actual operations manager got terminal cancer, and I can't. And also my sales manager quit. I don't have the bandwidth to hire people while collecting, while I'm selling, while I'm working on product development. It's a lot, and I'm struggling. And I have 5 grandchildren that I really want to enjoy." And I need the help, and I'm really going to struggle hiring. So you're solving a lot of issues while we, with the product that we're trying to position with some of these older business owners. Yeah, so I'll pause there.
So you said 75 million was the sweet spot. Is that give or take?
No, so actually, our criteria is somewhere between 20 and 75 million enterprise value. That would be the range of the size of the company we're looking for. That 20, of course, is give or take. We can do a little bit under, but definitely looking for a company that has some solid background. So for us, that is something that looks like it has some revenue visibility. That excludes anything that's project based. So construction or engineering would be out of the scope. But really what we're looking is something where we can add value, grow it for the long term, and, has a good outcome at the end for everyone.
Got it.
Yep.
And when you mean the companies that are your scope, construction is something that you guys want to be part of, you mean?
No, so anything that is not project based. So, we want to jump into a situation where the company has some recurrency in revenue or some revenue visibility. It could be reoccurrence, could be even, healthcare clinics, for instance, could be a good example of, you don't really have a contract with the patients, but they come in every day, right? So that's something that works for us. We've been spending a little bit more time in insurance industry, 3PL logistics, and, a couple other industries, but that's basically where we play. We typically like to spend some time in B2B services, but again, there's certain B2C like healthcare companies that work great with the model.
Got it. So dream opportunity, dream clients, what does that look like for you guys?
Alejandro, that's such a tough question. Well, we've seen a lot of very cool companies. The first example that comes to mind is this great little company. Ultimately, it didn't really come to fruition, and I'll share a little bit more why. But to expand a little bit more on why this company was great and why we like it, why we liked it so much. It's an insurance business, or rather, it's a compliance and licensing business for insurance agents and brokers. Sounds fancy, sounds complicated, but at the core of it, the only thing that they were doing is they were ensuring their clients were compliant with state regulators, avoid penalties, avoid taxes, and the such. So agents and brokers have all these stringent requirements so that they can place insurance products with customers like the three of us. And every single state has all these difficult regulations around, the way they handle business. So this target that we were looking at and that we love, their business was just to remind everybody, agents and brokers, that, hey, you got to file form F-18 in the state of Colorado. You have to pay a tax on, for the state of Arizona, that type of stuff. So you can imagine the revenue visibility there was wonderful, very little staff to operate the business, and great people too, right? We love the people. The owners were Hispanic. We connected very, very well. And you know, it was a target that it was probably a little bit too small for us and for our investors. But with a little luck, you know, you never know, right? Maybe next year it happens. But that's one example of a business we really liked. I'm sure we have others.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that I would add there is that, you know, and the owners told us, one of the things why they chose us as potential acquirers was because they really cared about their legacy, right? They had employees that had been with them for over 20 years. You know, they felt like family. They had a legacy in the community, and they felt like us taking over would be a continuation of that. And I really feel like, you know, we connected well. Unfortunately, the opportunity, you know, did not work out because of different reasons. It was too small. We couldn't make it work. But it was, I mean, if we can find a similar company here in Florida, that would be perfect for us, let's say, or elsewhere. We're really doing a nationwide search, but, you know, being close to Key Biscayne, it's always a plus, right?
I like that. That's one of the things that stood out to me when we were doing our pre-podcast coffee, that you guys really wanted to maintain that legacy, that hard work that individual has put, that sweat, you know, that sweat equity, that all those dreams that have come to fruition, and then you want to hand off to someone that wants to continue that, you know. So I would say that's a very niche market, someone who wants to sell but also wants to maintain that, all that passion, all that vision that they have thrown into and made into a successful business. I mean, I like that approach that you guys are taking. So awesome.
You know, you'll be surprised about how important it is and how often it doesn't get resolved, right? So imagine you have this, you know, beautiful business, you sell to your largest competitor. Guess what? Your largest competitor, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna rebrand you, right? They're gonna, it's not gonna be called Sur Valley Business Corp. It's going to be called Competitor Business Corp. And that matters a lot for someone that worked in the business for 40 years. It's you know, it's everything, right? Sometimes it's even more important than price. If you sell to your typical villainous financial buyer, because what is the first thing they're going to do? They're going to slash cost, and they're going to ask you to stay in the business forever. So in our case, we depend on the existing management team, and instead of just, you know, firing everybody, we're going to add ourselves to the mix and roll up our sleeves and work that business. So sometimes it's just a wonderful avenue for a lot of owners out there, especially for the size we're looking for.
And by the way, I just want to add, we do intend to pay a fair price, of course, but you know, some owners also care about other things, right? So we plan to be competitive in price, but offer a little bit more or much more than all of these buyers, right? So
I don't know a lot about your field, but I can imagine that what you guys are proposing is that not only you guys are investing, buying, is you guys are putting yourself in the mix, like you said, Adam, right? You guys are going to be knee deep in the operation, managing it yourselves.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's something that happens often.
It seldom happens. What often happens is you sell to your largest competitor, and they got the management team, so they don't need anybody. They don't need anybody. They don't need anyone on your team. They can just replace you in a nanosecond. If you sell to a financial buyer, they're going to reduce costs, and the largest cost is typically people. So sure, you know, your competitor can probably maximize, you know, your valuation because they have synergies and all that, and that makes total sense. But it comes with a cost. It comes with the cost of neglecting your legacy, neglecting your people, and that matters to a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm sure you did. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
No. That's exactly right. Like Adan was saying, I think that you know, just for us, it's very important to retain the human capital, because we're going to be jumping into a situation where, you know, it's going to be all new for us. So we do plan on leveraging what's there, what that owner has built, and building on top of that, right? So that's going to be, you know, one of the main levers for us to retain.
Got it. You guys are currently looking for businesses, like you guys said before, right? Can you guys expand a little bit more about that?
Yes, sir. We are actually very actively looking we are trying to get in touch with as many business owners as possible. I would encourage any business owner that is listening or looking at this podcast to go on our website, lionfieldcap.com, and learn a little bit more about what we are doing, who we are, and what we have to offer. And if it's appealing, please do reach out, email, phone. We're very happy to speak with you, and you can explore your options, and we can take the conversation however you like it. Thank you so much.
Great. I'll definitely put that in the show notes. So please take a look at those. But we're not fully done. I want to go back to Key Biscayne. So I always like to ask my guests, what is your favorite part of Key Biscayne? Let's start with Adan. You're new.
I really, what was that?
You're new in the Key, so.
I just really love that everything is walking distance. I love walking. I walk with my family all the time. My kids go to the park every day, and I walk to the mass grocery store. So that part is just lovely. It's a lovely town. So you can always appreciate that, and the fact that everything is close, right? I mean, I walk to the beach at least twice a week, and those are great memories that I'm building with the kids.
Awesome.
Yeah. For me, Key Biscayne, I think I love the sense of community in the island. I've met a lot of great people. Really made a lot of friends through my daughter's school, through family, just friends in common. I love the sense of community. I also love that it's safe for the kids, and especially with a young one, feel very, very happy to be there, to be honest. It was a great place to spend the pandemic as well. Very, the outdoors, the beach, the parks. I love Key Biscayne, to be honest.
Thank you. And I know that we're running out of time. I have one more question about the Key. Can you guys describe for me a perfect weekend for you guys here in Key Biscayne?
Yeah. I try to do it every weekend. I go down to the pool, do some barbecue, then go out to the beach. I live in one of those buildings that, it's close to the water. So it's very, very, very nice to do that every single weekend. I don't need to change that. And my daughter's very happy to do it as well. I would say that the farmers market on Saturdays is also phenomenal.
Nice.
To visit every single weekend.
Nice. Good touch.
Thank you for everyone that's there.
Yeah, no, that's actually great. Honestly, it's very similar. Not trying to copy the response, but Fridays I get home and maybe I'll have a glass of wine with my wife. We've had plans. That's great. Typically Saturdays, and honestly, this is the perfect Saturday for me. I wake up, I play with my kids. I usually take them to swimming lessons. Well, I'll take the 2-year-old to swimming lessons, and right after that, we just go to the farmers market every Saturday, buy the same things, just hang out with with my Mexican friends there who are running the fruit and vegetable stand. Shout out to them. Just do the same. I try to go to the beach Saturday and Sunday and just enjoy it.
Beautiful. Perfect. The most simplest moments are the best. So.
Exactly. Right.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your Key Biscayne story, telling us about your Lionfield capital, and yeah, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite, Alejandro. Pleasure.
Alejandro, thank you so much. I really appreciate the interview. Thank you.